And we're live. What's up, everybody? How's everybody doing? Hopefully you guys are doing well. This is Crappy Mondays, of course. I wanted to kind of come back and do it this week. I think last week there was worries of a hurricane or something coming. That ended up not coming here, thankfully. I mean, we did get a little bit of, it was like little isolated thunderstorms or whatever, but overall, we escaped unscathed, and so I was super happy about that, not have to worry about that kind of stuff again. Other than that, everything, pretty good. I, played through Control and trying to did some Gears of Wars and stuff like that. Hopefully you guys are all doing good. And hopefully you guys are all, doing fine. As you guys join in, please do me a favor and like and share the video out. I would definitely appreciate that. It means a lot when you guys do that. Thank you guys very much for, rocking out with me and stuff like that. I also wanted to remind people as they came in that I do have the channel memberships open with some cool stuff in there. You can vote for which game you want me to review each month, as well as, some other cool stuff as well, some Q&As and a live stream that's just exclusive to you guys. But nothing else changes for anybody else. So don't worry about that, because everybody's going to get like pretty good content no matter what, or pretty crappy content depending on whose side you're on. A lot of people don't like me. It's not really a secret, but I will say Gears of War is a very, very polarizing game. Now, why is it so polarizing? For me, it's polarizing simply put because I wasn't able to finish the campaign. The entire reason why I wanted to play the game was to be able to do the campaign and stuff like that, and the fact of the matter is I wasn't able to do that, and that's a little bit unfortunate. And hopefully, it's something that they can fix sooner rather than later. I would love to see them actually get out there and be able to fix this thing, because it is a hot looking game. I'm telling you what, like, this game is absolutely beautiful. I had seen the previews and I was excited by it, and I was like, man, this is really looking good. This is something that a lot of people are going to love. Maybe game of the year. I was giving credit where credit is due. I was excited by it, and then all of a sudden, you sort of see with your own eyes when you actually get to play the game that, hey, it is a good game for sure. It is a very good game, but it's not that great game of the year type contender that I was hoping that it would be. I see a lot of people in the chat. What's up, Neverland? What's up? Let's see. Now, Truth says PC and Xbox and PlayStation, Nintendo all in one. I don't know. Xbox support more active than ever. Listen, Xbox support is active because they're having problems with, their online. First of all, check this out. I'm not really, even though it sucks, I'm not exactly blaming Microsoft for their problems with the servers and stuff like that, right? Like, that stuff happens. I completely get that. That stuff happens. You launch a game, people can play it for $1. What do you expect, right? Like, I get it. That kind of stuff can happen. I totally get it. I do. Now, the part that is a lot more inexcusable is this game is supposed to be Microsoft's new way, okay? That's what annoys me. This was the game that, finally their developers have time and money and effort and the people and the right amount of everything to get the game right. Like, this was going to be the precursor to what we get in the future from all Microsoft game studios, right? The quality, all that kind of stuff. And when you start this game up, it's there, man. You're like, whoa, this is great. And I feel like that's what we were missing with Xbox. Like, and I get it. Xbox fans don't like me to talk about this. They don't want people to talk bad about the game. It's not a bad game. I reviewed it. You guys can check it out. Spoiler alert, I reviewed it at a 7.75, but I said it would have been an 8.5 if I would have been able to actually play the games. I feel like obviously they're going to patch it and it'll be fixed or whatever, but with Borderlands 3 coming, you can only put so much time into it. You can only go back and replay something so many times before it gets kind of annoying, So yeah, it was a little bit, what's up, Mr. Twister? Thank you for the support again, becoming a member on the channel and stuff like that. It does mean a lot to me. So anyway, this is supposed to be the precursor to the changing tide for Microsoft, okay? Like, everything's going to change, right? They're really figuring it out now. They've got everything under control, the money, everything's there. This is what we can expect from now on from their studios, right? Xbox Game Studios are going to deliver. This is the quality we can expect. Clearly, the Coalition is one of Microsoft's bigger and best teams. Now, you would figure that you would be able to play, right? You would be able to play and play and complete a game with this studio, right? But the problem that I had, multiple problems, I couldn't do that, okay? So what happened for me, in case you guys didn't know, was there was different checkpoint issues where the checkpoints wouldn't save. I couldn't manually save. There was also multiple issues where I had to do something, and I'm not going to spoil the game for anybody, by the way, but you had to do something, you had to get to someplace, and you need Jack, the little robot that follows you, to be somewhere, and he just gets stuck or just stays there. He doesn't follow you like he should, and so you can't progress the game. So you have to totally restart everything. The thing is, if you just go back to the last checkpoint, the same thing happens over and over again. You just get stuck in this infinite loop, and it's not a good thing. So you have to usually go back to the original, to the start of the act, and you know what I mean? People were saying, well, maybe uninstall it and reinstall it. Like, seriously, with my internet, uninstall it and then reinstall it. Yeah, I'll be able to play it 2 days from now. You know, like, why can't the game just work? I don't understand why Sony and Nintendo, their first party, can, for the most part, I'm not saying they can never have a game that has issues or glitches, but why is it that their first parties are so, the discrepancy between these first parties is completely, like, through the roof, right? Just think about it, okay? Sony would never, like Naughty Dog, can you imagine Naughty Dog releasing a game where you couldn't progress the game or you couldn't save the game? Or could you imagine Nintendo doing it? Imagine Zelda. Oh, you can't get through, you know, this part because you can't progress the game. Like, I just don't really see that happening in today's day and age. But it's something that happens with Microsoft all so long. Now, listen, this isn't State of Decay 2, which, you know, I know people, certain people like that. Shout out to Sully, because I know he's a big fan of that game. But this is, you know, the Coalition in Gears of War. You can't have that. You can't have a oh crap button. You know, we're stuck. Can we go back? Like, this is supposed to be your big AAA polished game. And the fact of the matter is, it's not as polished as they try to make it out to be. So, I'm not on dial-up, guy. Get off dial-up. I'm on, like, you know, I would say that my internet is better than, I think that the average or something like that. So, yeah, that's definitely... you know, what I would say, it's not like super dial-up or anything like that. I get almost 30 down or whatever, so it's not terribly bad, but I do agree that it's not like the best or anything like that. But I can't download stuff that quickly, you know, like 50, 60 gigs or whatever. It still takes me a tremendous amount of time, so that is a little bit of a problem. As you guys come in, please hit the like button. I would appreciate it, and share it out. I would like that a lot. Top Dog says the Gears 2 comparison was crazy, but this is what happens if you want 60 frames per second. Well, listen, there's Sully. Boo this man, and I was just talking about you, dude. Yeah, so anyway, like I was saying, I do think that it's cool, like the 60 frame stuff. I like that. I think that that's pretty cool stuff. The main problem, like I said, that I have was, and I think that the graphics are fantastic. You know, I'm not gonna lie, like those graphics, some of the best I've ever seen. You know, those were really impressive stuff. And the fact of the matter is, you know, I thought that they did a fantastic job with that, and I like some of the new additions that they brought to the game, some of the changes and stuff like that. But again, at kind of what cost is the problem. So I also linked this in the description as well, and it looks like this is a problem as well. Not earning XP or collectibles in Gears 5. You're not alone. So as Gears 5 prepares to leave the early access, players have noticed that they are no longer earning experience points or collectibles. This bug is not exclusive to any platform. The root of the cause has been identified, and it looks like the potential solution remains vague. According to an update provided by the Coalition, Gears 5 has encountered scalability issues due to an unprecedented large number of players. The back-end servers and services have taken a beating. This has in turn taken a toll on in-game progression, which is why many players are no longer earning XP or collectibles. So, right, like this was a big problem. Like when they did their alpha or their beta test or whatever, like they only did like a couple of days worth of this stuff, and they only did it a month away. They really should have been doing this since probably early this year, and just let it run for a couple of weeks, and then let it open it up to everybody. And see just how things would react for them, because you know what, this is kind of BS that we have to deal with this, where you lose your progression. Look, and I was telling this to people on Twitter, I'm not looking for reasons to hate on Xbox. I thought this, and you can look at my earlier videos, I was like, is the Gears of War, is this finally their Game of the Year contender? I was hyped for it. I thought from initial previews that we were looking at a first 90 game that wasn't going to be like a racing game for Microsoft. So I was really excited for it and happy that Gears of War was back. And then we kind of get these problems, and it's a bit unfortunate. I'm sorry that, You know, some people still look at me as, you know, just a random blind kind of hater or whatever, and it couldn't be further from the truth. I wanted this game to be good. Look, Sully is a perfect example, right? Good guy. He did his review for Gears as well. And he said during his playthrough, he had problems. He had 17 crashes or something like that, right? 17. Now, I can't imagine, you know, having that many crashes, you know, within a certain playthrough or whatever. But he had 17 crashes or freezes. And I didn't have that many, but I just got to a point where I couldn't progress the game anymore, and so it was a bit of a problem. Now, according to the Coalition, they've assured that work is ongoing to restore stability and prevent further loss of progression. Without any further clarification, though, the question of whether lost XP or collectibles will return remains unanswered. There's two possible scenarios. The obvious that you lose everything. Gears 5 is going to set to be received a new patch that squashes the bugs, and players will start getting XP once more to head back for those collectibles again. That's not the one that most people want. Like for me, if you spend 4 hours getting through portion of the game or whatever, right, and people are you know, and then you got to go back and do it again, that's the problem. The only thing that you can't replace in this life is time. And you know, you spend your time in this game, and you spend hours and hours playing the game, and then what happens? You have this situation where you can't progress your game, you can't do this, you can't do that. It's really kind of sad, and really kind of, you know, I don't understand why this game, such a big game, such a high budget game, that's a big problem, okay? And I don't understand why they couldn't have found this out, and why for the life of me, I've looked at many reviews and watched some reviews and stuff. No other reviewer mentions any of these problems, right? Like, I found numerous instances where, even during the campaign, like, people fell into, like, the floor, people fell into the walls, people walked into the walls, like, your character got caught in these weird, like, glitches with the camera angles and stuff like, I don't understand. It's not just me, because I see them on Twitter, but none of the reviewers that I saw, or review videos that I saw, mention any of this stuff, right? Nobody mentioned any of it. Like, how the heck can that not be? I don't understand. For the life of me, I do not understand how nobody could have mentioned, hey, you know, there are some of these problems. You know what I mean? There's some of these problems. And I just wish that, you know, the damage control would stop, because it doesn't help anything with Xbox. You know, having people damage control and bring up PlayStation, or bring up this or that, or, you know, like, that doesn't help Xbox get better. Like, Microsoft, they're the ones that get hurt by not having quality content, not being tied to quality content. You know, and I feel like that's something that they're going to have to do if they want to be taken seriously this generation, or, you know, next generation. And I feel like they could, you know, I feel like they have you know, a good chance of starting hot if they have the content. But at the same time, you've got to be able to have the content that people want, and they can get people kind of excited about what you're doing. Strap4 says, Rod owes Sully 60 for trying to push through the game. He beat the game and likes the game. He's just like, yeah, those 17 were pretty bad. Top Dog says, Uncharted 4 probably could have been 60 frames if it wasn't for the attention to detail the devs put in. Well, listen, I think the multiplayer was 60 frames, right? So I feel like that's probably more important for that, you know what I mean, for the multiplayer thing. Yeah, so hold on. Public Freakout, he says, watch Crowcat video. I saw it, and I do got to say that I did find it very interesting that it was very much, you know, those games look an awful lot alike. I mean, Gears of War is Gears of War. It's hard to really... I think it's a good game. Just, it's not a great game, and it could have been a great game if it would have worked, like, right away. And for me personally, I just feel like the fact that it doesn't work is just a real shame, you know. And I hope that they can get everything working, because think about this. I know I didn't pay full price for this game. You know, I got a review copy or whatever, which I stated pretty freely and openly. But a lot of people that have early access to this game paid $100 for the Ultimate Edition. They paid $100 to be able to play this game early. And those are the people that are the ones that aren't able to play the game early like they were supposed to, like was advertised. And I think that's a bit of a problem. So if this is the kind of, you know, half half-assed type of effort we can expect from the coalition, and they're Microsoft's darlings, one of the better, more passionate developers that they have. What can we expect from the likes of In Exile and Compulsion? And you know what I'm saying? Like, is this a problem with discipline, like dedication? Like, what is the main culprit to this? That's my main thing. Like is the main culprit that, you know, they're undisciplined because they're out partying and they're, you know, they don't have crunch, they don't have, you know what I'm saying? They're just allowed to like live this life of Riley. And like, is that really the reason that their games tend to be so lackluster and broken? Okay, like, I don't understand why that this tends to be the case over and over and over again. Like, I just do not understand it, and I hope that the coalition understand it. Like, it's not. I'm trying to be constructive criticism. I'm not trying to be, you know, like rude or mean about it, because I think it's a good game. And had it worked, it would have been a great game. And you probably would have been looking at like a 90 Metacritic game or something along those lines. And I know Metacritic doesn't matter to a lot of people, but I assure you that it matters to the development team, and I believe that it matters to, you know, people when they're trying to take pride in it. It's like winning an award. Like, a lot of people do movies or music, and they want to win. They want to win some kind of you know, you get recognized for excellence. And I think that just like when you're in school and you get recognized for excellence or whatever, it's a good feeling. It's nice that people notice, and I feel like that would have been a good thing. If this would have scored 90 something, that would have gave people a lot of hope for the future. Would have went, oh well, you know what? Microsoft has, you know, they fixed the problem. They're putting more money into it. They're putting more time into it. They're putting more effort into it. Enrique says the bug started happening on Thursday when early access hit. Reviewers with early review copies didn't experience bug. I played Gears 5 on Wednesday, no issues, and Thursday I lost a checkpoint. This is a good point. Like, I don't know exactly what the deal is with it, but I do feel like, you know, it's a bit weird that reviewers were okay, I guess, with their versions of the game, but then when we were playing, or when I was playing, not only did I have problems with like checkpoints and stuff like that, but just in general, I was having lots of problems just being able to progress anything or save my game or do anything. I was afraid to leave the game because I didn't want it to kind of crap out on me or whatever, no pun intended. But I do feel like, you know, it's just one of those things that maybe it could have been fixed, or something could have been issued, you know, some kind of warning or whatever. I am Lop Nop says multiplayer crashed on the Dingus DSP a few times while he was streaming. I don't know who that is, but yeah, I saw a lot of people that were having you know, issues and things like that. Nine Life says stop it, the game has the best visuals this gen. Dude, what does visuals have to do with the game crashing and the game not working right? I don't understand. Sully says I didn't have any problems with frames per second or falling through the floor, just stuck saving content and crashes 17 times. Sully, that's crazy. Let me see. I got some. Let's see, it's Game Pass. They want games rushed into it. Yeah, but supposedly that's not the case. Like, supposedly they want developers to take their time, and you know what I mean? I just really think that's you got to be able to take your time and put games out when they're ready. And I feel like maybe that their games weren't as ready as possibly they should be. And hopefully in the future they're a little bit more wary of this. Like, I don't understand. I get it, right? Like, how, like, even if there was a stress load on their servers and the cloud was a problem, because obviously they're using some kind of cloud compute for some of this as well, and our saves are in the cloud, and this is in the cloud, and that's in the cloud. Even if that's the case, okay, what I don't understand is, how do you underestimate the amount of people that are going to be using it? You're basically giving away your biggest franchise for $1, okay? Like, people didn't even need to spend anything out of pocket. So that's like asking people if they want to go see the Star Wars movie for free, the next Star Wars movie for free. You know, of course people are going to go want to see it. And for them not to understand that, I feel like that's really, really kind of bad. So anyway, in the last day or two, a lot of players have gone through multiplayer matches as well as challenges, without receiving multiple with XP at all. Those going through the campaign have noticed that each chapter displays an incorrect amount of collectibles found. And so that's really very frustrating as well, especially if you're a completionist looking to complete the game, you collect stuff and then it has the wrong number kind of displayed there for you. Not a good look. Not a good look. The funny thing that I see is a lot of people are like, it's still a great game, CG. It's still a great game. And I'm like, how is it a great game if I can't even finish it, man? Like, I understand that some people were able to get through it, but I got stuck in Chapter 3, or excuse me, in Act 3. And I went back and had to redo it multiple times. And finally, I'm just like, well, I guess I'll have to YouTube the ending and see what's up. So that's how I finished it. And I guess I'll go back when I can. But Borderlands is about to come out, and so, you know, I'm going to be probably focusing on that a little bit. And I just feel like, for me, that's all I can't get my time back, man. I can't just sit there and go, oh, well, you know what, let me waste some more time playing through this game again. You know, like, it doesn't really work that way for me. It doesn't, you know what I'm saying? Like, my life is very complicated. And, you know, with work and family and all that kind of stuff, it's just very difficult to really kind of have, like, just unlimited amount of time. And I don't have that time to just go back and go, oh, well, I can waste another 4 hours doing the same thing that I literally just did before. Like, it doesn't really work that way for me. So, yeah, it's a bit unfortunate, and I'm bummed out that, you know, that it kind of happened to me the way it did. You know, I hope that they fix it rather quickly. But I don't have a lot of high hopes, you know, just because if Xbox has taught me anything this generation, is that have low expectations and you'll be okay. Because every time I've gotten my expectations up, they kind of let me down, and they continually do that. So I don't really have any kind of high expectations or anything like that. I do feel like it's not, and I don't feel like they do it purposely time and time again, to be honest with you. I just feel like it's so Microsoft. When I found out that it was a problem, you know, I was just like, I wasn't really mad. I was just like, that's so Xbox, you know. That's very much what I've come to expect from Xbox, you know, over these years. And it's just really unfortunate, and especially this generation. Like, I would have loved for Microsoft to be able to just go, you know, into next generation with some momentum and with some actual quality stuff behind them. But as it stands, even their best game, their biggest game, and what's sad is, I think even if Enrique is still here, he said that this was their best exclusive this generation. Is that not sad at the same time as, you know, bittersweet? Because the game's broken for many people, but it's still the best thing that Microsoft has put out this entire generation. Like, to me, that sums up everything you want to know about Microsoft's Xbox One generation. And that's that, you know, we get a game that's broken for a lot of people, and that's the best game that we've gotten this generation. Like, that says it all to me. It's like, that's so Xbox. And hey, as you all come in here, please like the video, share it out. I would appreciate it. Hit the bell if you haven't already done so. It's a little bit disheartening, to be completely honest with you. Hey, maybe we can get up over 100. I would like it. 9 Live says, chill, the game isn't even officially out. Dude, tell that to the people that paid $100 for the for a version of the game to access it early, right? And then they're not even allowed. They can't even access their game. You know, like, to me, that tells me everything I need to know. You know, like, Microsoft has really kind of dropped the ball with this, and I hope that they, you know, that everything fixes and they do a better job with it. That's what I want to see. You know, I want to see them, you know, do a good job with it, and I want to see Gears of War continue to be good. And it really had a chance at that, right? I thought they did an above-average job with the actual story, and, you know, the multiplayer. Aside from the fact that you can't like not disable crossplay, you can't disable it in the arcade, but you can only do it for, you know, the you can only do it in ranked, which, so you basically have. You basically have ranked with super tryhards, or you have unranked with keyboard and mouse and PC and things like that. Like, to me, that's not great options, and I wish that they would, you know, kind of fix that a little bit and just allow us to disable it across the board. I think, unlike last time, that the console players might be the minority players this time, meaning there's not as many, because I do feel like the PC players are more prevalent on the multiplayer right now. So. Yeah, it could be, you know, it's one of those, again, Xbox hasn't sold extremely well this generation. So, a lot of people buying this game on Steam, and I brought this up during MNC yesterday, and that is that the game was #1 on Steam, right? Which was surprising because that means they paid full price for this game versus, what they were doing with Game Pass on the Windows Store, where you could have got Game Pass Ultimate, I think, for like $1, and you could have played Gears Ultimate that way. So people would rather pay $60 for the game on Steam than $1 and play it on the Windows Store. Now, I'm not a PC aficionado. I don't play games on PC, but that seems to me to indicate that there's some big problems on that Windows Store front, and I don't exactly know what they are. Maybe some of you guys know it or whatever. But yeah, wow, that is very incredible to see. Nine Live says, wait for the day one patch. Dude, that we had the day one patch. It's been patched. It's been patched. I don't understand why you're saying, why you're saying that wait for the day one patch. They already day one patched it, my friend. The problem is that this is what we got. This is the game. Like, they have it in early access. You have to have that patched for that. So I don't understand why you would think that anything would be different or anything like that. So yeah, that's a bit of a problem. Public Freakout says analysts are saying Game Pass is cannibalizing Gears 5 sales. I saw that. So here's the thing. With lesser games, okay, and I'll kind of explain to what he's talking about. With lesser games, like a State of Decay 2, having it in Game Pass is a good thing. It's a good thing because most people aren't going to give that game a chance anyway. And so they'll try it in Game Pass. Maybe they'll like it, so they'll buy it or whatever. But those games are never meant to sell, millions of copies. Now, with Gears of War 5, that's one of your biggest franchises, okay? This is one of your big AAA tentpoles. So this is one of those games that would probably normally sell for Microsoft, 5-10 million copies. And now it's probably going to sell like 1 or 2 million copies because people are going to, for the most part, just try it in Game Pass. And I feel like that's something, that's something that's going to be, that's going to be. Oh, Top Dog, who is a notorious PlayStation fan, says Gears 5 is a good game. I'm replaying it on Pro. It is a good game, but it's not a great game. I really feel like, I really feel like it's something that they could have had a feather in their cap going into next generation. Godang says, we need a patch for the day one patch. Yeah, you got to patch the patch because the patch wasn't working. Merrick W says, have you seen Digital Foundry's analysis? Groundbreaking graphics, even on Xbox One base. Yeah, I saw it. I think it's great. I think that's really cool stuff that they're able to pull that out and do some incredible things graphically. Now, the thing that I will say is that I didn't notice, that's cool. But if you can't play the game, if you can't beat the game, that's a bit of a problem. So even though I think the game looks really good, excuse me, I think the game looks really good. But I have noticed some bland parts in there as well because you got to keep that 60 frames per second. And in order to do that, you've got to be able to, have some great things there to offer people. And I feel like that's the part where Microsoft is flubbing things a little bit lately. So I do hope that they can get around to fixing things and making it better for everybody. Hit the like button. I would appreciate it. Have I tried Uplay? That's like a PC thing, right? I don't game on PC, but, I do my best to kind of do what I can. Digital Foundry said the Coalition is up there with Naughty Dog. I think what they're talking about is in terms of being able to get the most out of the hardware. Certainly not with their game quality. I don't recall Uncharted pulling an 85 anytime recently. You know what I mean? Like, that would be an incredibly low score for a Naughty Dog game. And I feel like maybe from a technical standpoint they did, but I also don't remember any Naughty Dog games where I got stuck and couldn't progress the game. So yeah, for me personally, I just don't think that that's something that people kind of will talk about. But when they bring that up, people will want to beat their chest over that, right? Now Digital Foundry is great because they're talking up, they're talking up all this kind of stuff, right? Like, oh, they're as good as Naughty Dog. Nowhere ever did they say that they believe that the Coalition is as good as a Naughty Dog as developers. What they're talking about is from a technical standpoint what they were able to accomplish. But again, a lot of that's thrown out the window because you know what? hey, I'm not even able to finish the game. So I think that's a huge problem, and that's something that people are going to have to kind of understand as we kind of go forward. Do I think Steam numbers will make up for the Game Pass numbers? No, I don't think that. I don't think that that'll be the case at all. Sean LeBray says, what happened to the game? I haven't noticed any issues unless it was multiplayer only. I haven't touched it yet. The problem that I had was I couldn't hit any checkpoints, and then I couldn't progress the game. There's certain points in the game where you need Jack to help you progress the game, and he would either get stuck like in a wall or just wouldn't go where he needs to go. So there was no real way to progress the game. Also, I lost progression of a game when it saved and failed to actually save, and that's a bit of a problem. So I had to replay different portions of the game, and then I had to replay the different portions of the game yet again. So that was a real problem for me and kind of a bummer, because I was hoping that this game would have been everything that we all wanted it to be, which was this great exclusive game that we've been missing from Microsoft. But I've had so many problems with it that it just ticks me off more and more. So I do hope that people keep on them a little bit. I want them to actually be able to say, hey, this is a good game. You really missed an opportunity here, though, because this could have been a great game. This could have been like your guys' game of this generation. Instead, it's just one of those things that'll go down as another Microsoft flubbed missed opportunity with a 85 Metacritic score, which could have been something in the 90s. And again, not that I think Metacritic is the be all end all. I just think that it's one of those situations where we could have actually gotten a really great game from them, and people would have taken notice. Look, people take notice of great games. It's not really a secret, okay? I don't think Gears of War is that game that's going to make people go out and buy an Xbox anymore. But if it would have got a 90-something Metacritic, people would have been like, whoa, maybe I do got to get an Xbox after all. You know what I mean? Maybe it would have reinvigorated that franchise, okay? Because I think it's a good game, but the fact that people aren't going to be able to play it or beat it, and they're having so many problems with it, that's going to turn it off. That's going to be a turnoff for a lot of people that were looking to maybe get into this game or seeing some positive hype. And another thing is, the complaints that I made about the game, I didn't really see many people mention, which was, here you have what's possibly the best-looking game of this generation, and you have no photo mode. You have no photo mode in this game, okay? Like, you can take screenshots, yes, but there's no photo mode. Like, most games nowadays, particularly PlayStation games, and even a lot of third-party games, offer you a photo mode that removes like the HUD and all this kind of stuff, and you can manipulate the angles and tint or color, whatever. You can have some fun with things, show off the game. And for this game not to have a photo mode, with it being as a pretty of a game as it is, you have to kind of scratch your head a little bit and wonder what they were thinking, because it would have been free advertising for them and their games. As we get closer to 300 people in here, please hit the like button. I would appreciate it. Crappy Mondays, a staple around here. Porta Player says, but you don't need to get an Xbox to play Gears 5 or Halo Infinite. That's true. You can play it on a phone, on a tablet, on a sneaker, on a smart fridge, on a watch, however you want to play it. That's what it's all about. Now True says, Buck, my favorite is Mario Galaxy. Mario Galaxy is good. Miguel Gonzalez says, you're the only gamer on YouTube that I know that has this problem, and not with Gears, but gaming in general. Like, if you got a problem, bro. Listen, Sully, who is in the chat, he did his review for the game. He could not progress it. We had Basement Radio Arcade, Brap. He was in here. He had multiple problems, the same problems. Look on Twitter, the same problem. I listed a link in the description, right? It says source, and then right next to it, you can click that, and it tells you that they're having multiple problems with this, okay? So it's not something that I've made up. It's not invented. It's not something that's just me. It's something that is happening to multiple people, and it's not a small problem. It's all over. It's got all kinds of problems and issues and glitches, and this is something that, shouldn't be a problem, but you know what? It is a problem. So, I feel like that is going to be something that's going to kind of haunt Microsoft going into the next generation. I don't trust Microsoft's first party to come out with great games. Like, are you serious? I definitely don't see them coming out with anything great. I was excited because I thought, hey, maybe we would get something. Maybe Halo will be now, right? Because it looked like Gears got its act together, and now it looks like Gears didn't even get its act together. So how will Halo hold up? That's something that I kind of, how I look at things, and I hope. And I hope that it's not the case. 5 years is a longer development time, so hopefully they can. My hope is, I really, really hope that they have the time to properly beta test that game and make sure that everybody's kind of on board with it and everybody's kind of doing their thing with it. I just don't think that I would hope anyway that they don't go in and expect that game to just run great. They're doing a lot of crossplay. Like, why would you underestimate that? Okay, underestimate the amount of people that are going to play it. I just feel like that's a mistake. You really got to be prepared. And Microsoft is touting this power of the cloud stuff and this digital future and streaming future. How can we trust that when we can't even get them to properly, launch a game like Gears of War? Like, that's a big problem. I see this, and I definitely want to talk about this for a second because I love it. Hold on. Bone Slave says, don't need a photo mode. Looks good without any of that post-processing photo mode has. Dude, do you not understand that photo mode is just something cool? It's a good way to advertise and take cool pictures. It doesn't have to have post-processing, but you can change the angles and things like that. Back the camera up, forward it to the side. Like, if you want to take a picture of the front of your character, why can't you? So, hold on. Sekiro says, I literally beat Gears 5 campaign, and I didn't get the achievement for beating it, and after the credits rolled, it said resume. Yeah, that's a bit of a problem. Sound says, Sony devs most talented devs in the world. Woza55. Everybody hit the like button. We're closing in on 100. He says, today is the 20th anniversary of the Dreamcast, the best, most unsuccessful console. Such a shame it was ahead of its time. Listen, I absolutely love the Sega Dreamcast. I'm looking at mine right now. I have it up here on my desk. Absolutely fantastic. Really, really underrated thing. I just feel like it's such a great console and super underrated as well. Listen, that thing was so ahead of its time, and Microsoft really helped create that. Without that, maybe we don't even have an Xbox because Sega had such a kind of a sweet deal going with Microsoft. We got a bunch of exclusive games off of that. Even like Shenmue 2 was exclusive at the time. And, we had some really cool stuff. We also had, some other games that we got from them, which I thought was really cool. Like Panzer Dragoon and stuff like that. So, yeah, like we had some really cool stuff from them. And it was almost backwards compatible with the Dreamcast, unfortunately. But, like, the head of Sega at that time passed away, so it wasn't before that deal actually got to come about. So that's unfortunate. But at the same time, I do think that it was pretty cool that, the things that we were able to get, from these, that kind of partnership or whatever. And it kind of led us to Xbox Live because if you remember, the Sega Dreamcast had online. It was dial-up, like you had to get a modem later, and now that thing's super rare. But believe it or not, there's people still playing the Dreamcast games online through some kind of workaround or something. I'm not exactly sure how. But it is pretty cool that they're able to do that and kind of get things, up and running or whatever. Like I think that's pretty cool. So, hit the like button. Like I said, we're closing in on 100. Sound says all the Xbox fans damage controlling, saying they don't. All games have these problems. Listen, not all games have these problems to this extent. Like, I understand some bugs and stuff like that because that is something that that a lot of games do have. But at the same time, I do feel like this is something that most Xbox games have. And it's not something that most PlayStation games have. So that's completely unfortunate and, it's and a bit concerning if you think about it. So at the end of the day, I'm not, like, totally turned off what Microsoft is doing in the future, but it does make you kind of scratch your head a bit and go, oh, well, you know what? Maybe it's something that I should be a little bit concerned about just for the simple fact that they haven't been able to really kind of get something out there that was, completely amazing or whatever. So I do feel like that's a bit of a problem, like where has been that their like breakthrough moment, and I've always said this as well. Microsoft, for all the good that they've done in this industry, and they've moved some things forward. I give them credit for that. they've never created their own hit franchise. Like, they bought Halo, they bought Gears of War. I guess you could say maybe Forza, but they haven't really created their own sort of like great franchise yet, and they've been around for 3 generations now. So, yeah, it's a bit concerning, and it's a bit one of those things where you kind of shake your head and go, well, what's going on with this? You know, hopefully they can get something worked out in the future, because we're all counting on, you know, the initiative to go out there and do something fantastic. So I'm hoping that we can get that sooner rather than later. And everybody hit the like button. Let me know what you're going on. Pumpkin Queen says they're using the Raspberry Pi to play online. I hope not. Why won't Microsoft bring back Crimson Sky, says Buck Roger? Because that game is not what you would consider to be a hit. You know, that's the truth of the matter. Microsoft is only interested in games that can be games as a service or like a hit franchise for them. So yeah, that's a bit of a problem. Solver X says, yes, photo mode is free advertising. I see pics people take all over social media, and that can lead to more sales. Yes, that's 100% right. Warrior, what's up, Warrior? You just beat the game, I know, because I saw you on Twitter. He says Microsoft asked Naughty Dog for help because they knew they couldn't make greatness, but Naughty Dog was busy owning the industry with creamy greatness. I agree. Creamy greatness, Warrior. That they are so creamy with that greatness. It gets all over the place and, you know, all over your face and everything. It's crazy. It's crazy, man. I'm telling you what. So it's one of those things that happens. Hey, Crap, you seen your QB had a big game yesterday. Sports! Listen, we were doing M&C during the show at the start of the season, right? And my team jumped out to like a 28-0 lead or 21-0. It was they ended up winning 59-10. He threw 5 touchdowns and had a perfect rating. Like, man, hard to start your day off any better than that. They created Microsoft Flight Simulator and Minesweeper. Hey, Top Dog, shout out to you, man, because, yeah, that's great. Hold on. Porta Player says, I don't agree with that. Cuphead isn't a game as a service. Here's the thing, Porta Player. Where to tell you you're wrong. Cuphead isn't a Microsoft exclusive. It isn't a Microsoft-owned game. It's not a Microsoft-created game. Okay? It's a little indie game that Microsoft published, but since then it's gone to Nintendo and also it's gone to Tesla cars and stuff like that. So again, it's not a big game. It's not an expensive game. They will not spend big money on an exclusive game that's only single player. They'll never do it. They'll never do it. Even their racing game, Forza Horizon 4 is the most games as a service game I've ever played in my life. It's crazy. And it's the one that I played the least. Lamar Jackson, man, he's the man. Listen, you guys can say against the Dolphins all you want, but the bottom line is, did you see the throws? People were saying the man couldn't throw the ball. And did you see the throws? Like on a dime. Okay? And he's got fast receiver. Did you see Boykin? And also Hollywood Brown. Like, these guys are fast. Like, you got to pick your poison when you play the Ravens, okay? Because, yeah, he only had 6 yards rushing. Everybody's like, oh, he's a running back. He's not really a QB. He only had 6 yards rushing. He went 17 for 20 throwing. So if you stack the line to stop the rush, he's going to throw and have these fast receivers and good tight ends that he can pass to, right? And then if you play the pass, he can run, or they've got 3 really good running backs that can just run. So really it's pick your poison. And then they've got a really strong defense too. So I know it's against the Dolphins, but whenever I bring this up, that the AFC East is the weakest, and that's why the Patriots keep winning it every year. Like, that's just the truth. If the Ravens had to play the Dolphins, the Jets, and the Bills every year, they would have probably won 5 Super Bowls of their own as well. So, you know, it is what it is, but still, you get that confidence going, and you get to see, and you put that out there for people to see, you know what I mean? So people can, like, kind of check it out and know what you're capable of. Gears is incredible, Mike Scarborough says. Keep rubbing my eyes in disbelief. 4K HDR 65 inches. Man, just a different level. Yeah, really good looking game, for sure. Gadang says Giants, Dolphins, and Bucks got slapped. Oh, the Steelers got slapped as well. This is true. What do I think about Antonio Brown going to the Patriots? I think it's par for the course. I think he was acting up specifically to go to the Patriots. And, you know, there's some kind of collusion there or something like that. I'll Drain Your Soul says, you finished Gears yet, Crap? Nope, I wasn't able to. I might try to go back to it one day, But as far as I can tell, that game is broken. I couldn't progress it. I put 4 more hours into it that I lost. So yeah, not something that I'm gonna eagerly get in there and kind of go back to. Ravens will still have to go through Pats, maybe. I mean, depends. We play them this year. I'm looking forward to playing them and beating them. I'll be happy when Tom Brady and they retires finally. Am I getting Death Stranding, Devil 339 or Devil? Yeah. Yes. Okay. So I have a wager with Game Trailers. That's his name on Twitter. He said that Gears 5 would get a 95 Metacritic, and if it didn't, he would get me Death Stranding. So we had kind of this bet going on. Obviously, it's at 85 or something. So yeah, he's gonna buy me Death Stranding. I get it for free. I will say this though, I wasn't gonna take this man's money or game at first, right? Like, I was hoping that if it would have got a 90, I would have been like, nah, just keep your money or whatever. But the fact that it was so far behind, like 10 points below what he said, I just got to do it on principle alone, I think. Just got to do it alone. 2 miles from normal says Belichick will pick apart the Ravens. How are you going to pick apart the Ravens? I don't really see that. Did you notice their secondary is one of the stoutest in the NFL? They've got Earl Thomas and Tony Jefferson as safeties. Like Thomas had a pick yesterday. They traditionally give Tom Brady a lot of trouble. So I would definitely say that. Merrick W says 86 critic and 89 user. Hey, that's cool. I think a lot of Xbox fans are, very much, will give them a benefit of a doubt. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just saying. Nuke San Francisco says the Patriots still have to win in the playoffs even if they're in a weak division. Well, listen, isn't it much easier to win the playoffs when you get a bye week to start off and then home field advantage, right? I mean, and it probably doesn't hurt to deflate some balls in there, right? Like maybe spy on the other team. Here's the thing that always annoys me the most about the Patriots and the NFL in general. If a college football team got caught doing the things that the Patriots got caught doing, that team would be bowl ineligible for a decade. They wouldn't be able to have they would lose their scholarship program. Okay? New England they've had all kinds of things with performance enhancing drugs, spying on other teams, deflating footballs, and they keep getting chance after chance after. Their owner got caught in a rub and tug place. Okay, and nothing happened. Like seriously, like that's just so funny to me. Okay, enough talking about sports though. Hit the like button. I would appreciate it if you guys would like it. Jeff Nab says Microsoft acknowledged the save bugs yet. I don't want to start until it gets patched. They acknowledged them and supposedly are trying to do something to fix them. So we'll have to see how that we'll have to see how that kind of works out. Orlando Soto says Pat's got Edelman, Gordon, Brown, and Thomas. Well, dude. Didn't people really hype up the Browns receivers this past offseason? They got Odell and this guy, and they basically got slapped at home versus a very bad Tennessee team. So yeah, for me, it is what it is, man. Like Ravens got a very good defense. One thing is they got a very quick scoring offense. So I think that the Patriots don't want to see them. At least your team won. My Lions dropped the soap. Dude, how do the Lions do that, man? I don't know. They were up 24-6 at some point, and then all of a sudden, you know what I mean? Then all of a sudden, the game was tied and in overtime. Like, I don't understand what was going on there. It was a little bit. Albert G says, what's a rub and tug place? Really, dude? You don't know what a rub and tug place is, dude? It's like one of those massage parlors where, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of self-explanatory, I guess. So, yeah, it was a rub and tug place, and so, yeah, that's what happened. Hey, listen, the thing with the Browns, okay, it's easy for an underdog team to go out there and, quote-unquote, exceed expectations. The big thing is, once you have expectations that people are expecting things from you, what's going to happen? That's exactly it. Orlando Soto says, Pat's got 4 Pro Bowlers at wide receiver. Dude, I'll just say this. Edelman's an injury waiting to happen. He gets injured a lot. Josh Gordon, he's a head case. What happens when he wants to light up a bowl again, man? And Antonio Brown has been nothing but trouble. Like, this is not a cohesive thing, okay? So I just think that's Now, Jay Slayer's like, Brady's going to get enough rings to fill both of his hands. What's he going to play till he's 50? I just don't think that they're going to do that, man. I just don't think that that's going to happen. When I played basketball in high school, we knew every play that the schools were used. Well, I mean, that's pretty much against the rules, right? If you look at it. Hey, man, people are talking sports, apologies or whatever. But, yeah, we could talk a little bit more about Gears of War. I'm not going to be too much longer, I don't think. I just wanted to kind of talk a little bit about what was going on in terms of this. But anyway, yeah, I'm very excited about what's going on with Borderlands 3. It looks like it's getting some decent review scores and stuff like that. Here's what's funny to me. Borderlands 3, I believe, has the same Metacritic score as, as Gears of War 5, okay? Now, people aren't crying that it's media biased, though, They aren't saying that it's media biased. So what exactly is going on with that? That's something that I would kind of be wondering about. Like, is it media bias? It looks like it's like 85 right now. Is it media bias, you guys? Is that bad? Like, I always said that Gears, that's a good score. 85 is a good score, but people were going, no, it deserves much better than that, blah, blah, blah. I kind of disagree. I don't think that it deserved much better than that. I had it at a 7.75 due to the glitches and the problems, and I said if they were able to fix the problems, it would have been a, it possibly could have been a, an 8.5. I wouldn't have rated it any higher than an 8.5 because it just wasn't worth anything higher than an 8.5. Like, what you have to understand is when you can't progress your game and you have these type of problems, the best looking game in the world isn't going to be great if you've got to put up with these problems. And I would implore you guys, I put some effort into doing my Gears of War 5 review, and I put that up on my channel yesterday. So if you guys haven't had a chance to check that out yet and you want an absolute honest review for Gears of War, then I say go check it out. You know what I mean? Go check it out and let me know what you think, because I feel like I did a fairly substantially good review, an honest review. There's no spoilers in it, by the way, and I didn't even spoil anything with the footage shown because I was very tactical. I just walked around looking at like the foliage and stuff so that nothing is spoiled. Okay, and it's very early in the game, so you can't spoil anything by watching my review. There's literally no spoilers. So, yeah, I advise you guys all to check it out and let me know what you think, and I would appreciate it. And if you're watching me right now, please hit the like button, share it out. I would definitely appreciate that as well. And once again, while I got more people here, if you want to become a member of the channel, it's sort of like a Patreon deal. You do it through YouTube, though. There's 3 different tiers. It's not very expensive, but you do get like some simple perks, like being able to vote on what game you want me to review, like a live Q&A thing, and then one other thing as well. So, yeah, if you guys want to check that stuff out, I would be most appreciative, and, really kind of helps to support the content and stuff like that. It keeps me going, man, because let's face it, I get a lot of hate for, just being me, I guess. And knowing that there's people out there to support and actually like the content, I think that's really cool and that's really great. So I'm always appreciative of that, and I'm humbled by that as well. So for me personally, I think that it's been kind of a crazy ride, being an Xbox fan just this entire generation. The ups and downs have been crazy. And hopefully you guys kind of understand where I'm coming from with that. I do hope that, that Microsoft kind of understands what's going on in the future and they fix a lot of what's going on. Hold on. Bone Slave says I had to beat a boss twice. Yes, that happens. No, I haven't played Greedfall yet, the Mighty. I hear good things, though. Jackson Jacob says pretty much every game now has bugs when released. Hey, Jackson, I haven't played a game yet, recently anyway, where... I haven't played a game yet where I wasn't able to actually progress my game, and I lost 4 or 5 hours of game time. So I don't know if every game, or you can just damage control and go, oh, every game, is that. So Bone Slave says game progression is important. I agree, but it's not the end of the world. The game releases today officially. Let's see what the patch is talking about. Hey, so the people that paid $100 to get the game 5 days early, just tough luck to you. You know what I mean? Part of the reason you pay that money is to play early. So yeah, that's a little bit different. So Orlando Soto says, according to Crap, Ravens would have 5 more Super Bowls if they were in the AFC East. 100% accurate, maybe 7, because I think the Brady, Tom Brady and them are such cheaters. You know what I'm saying? So give props to Phil Spencer. Give props to Phil Spencer for what? 9 lives? For what? What am I giving him props for? Low End of Average Gaming says, I saw your review and dug it. Great job, brother. Thank you very much. I put some effort and time into it. Spider-Man PS4 Pro looks better, says Daryl J. Maybe. Captain Crunch says you're a martyr. Crap. Maybe. I mean, listen, it's tough to say. You know what I mean? Listen, I didn't get anything by being honest about this stuff. Maybe I should have kept quiet and just kept doing megaton videos about Xbox and how great it is, right? And everything would have been fine. I could have kept my 60,000 subscribers, and but at the end of the day, I had to be honest with it. I couldn't. I just wasn't happy. There came a particular point where I was like, if I do a video and I pretend to be happy about Xbox right here, it's lying, and I'm lying to them. I'm lying to myself, and I just couldn't do it anymore. So that's what I did. And if it ends and people don't want to watch me anymore or whatever, then I had a hell of a ride, and I'm never ever going to be upset about that, because I think that I've done a ton in a short amount of time for a small YouTuber, and I'm actually a small YouTuber that a lot of other YouTubers talk about, so that's pretty cool. And it's just, I've had a good time, and I've gotten my share of lumps and bruises from this, and at the end of the day, man, it just kind of is what it is, and I still have fun with it. But if it ever gets to the point where I don't, then I'm out. And maybe people will make that decision for me. I don't know. Things, people would rather be lied to and told that everything is great. Hey, Crackdown 3 is great. State of Decay 2 is great. Sea of Thieves is great. Xbox didn't even have a problem this generation, you guys. That's crazy talk. $500 for Connect, that's probably not even going to spy on us, right? I mean, come on. Xbox is great. Xbox is the best box. Sorry. What I bought into with the Xbox at the beginning of this generation, completely different than what we actually got. And so, yeah, it does kind of suck. But at the same time, maybe things will kind of, change around long term. I'm hoping that, what we get next generation is more in terms of what we're kind of used to as fans. And, along the way, Microsoft has definitely learned some things. So I'm hoping that they continue to learn things and that they continue to, fight the good fight. Gaming Despair says, what game do you like more, Gears 5 or Days Gone? Well, I was able to finish Days Gone. I wasn't able to finish Gears 5. So, man, I would like to say Gears 5, but I want to, since it's not patched yet, I'll give it a time. Since Days Gone did get patches and stuff, I'll give it a little bit of time. But maybe I'll run a Capital Foundry Gears 5 graphics versus Days Gone graphics, and we'll do one off. We'll see who wins that, right? That could be fun. Let's see. So far, Eastside 49er says, so far the game is at 9.3 for me based on presentation, story, longevity, and gameplay. Best game in 2019 so far. Have you run into any problems, though? 9.3. Like, I can guarantee you, if you lost 4 hours of your gameplay, that maybe you wouldn't be so, so there. Adrian Stringman says, you didn't pay $100, crap, you got a review copy. Yes, that's right, but you're totally discounting the people that did pay $100, right? I would have been one of those people had this game really appealed to me right from the beginning, because I've always bought the $100 edition of Gears. So, that's just one of those things where I've kind of, one of my things. So, let's see. As long as you keep it real, well, yeah, we'll see how it goes, man. It kind of is what it is. HMG says, no offense, but how do people listen to your garbage? I don't know, man. How do people listen to anybody's garbage? I mean, I've seen plenty of people get pops and views and stuff just for, kissing Microsoft's butt. So how do people listen to that? You know what I mean? Like, I guess it just depends. Everybody looks for. I think maybe some people like that I kind of come across as real, and when I do these live streams, and I try to interact as much as I can with fans and stuff like that. But it really just comes down to, I guess, just people kind of. I'm kind of an outgoing personality, and people kind of like it. I don't know. Will I do a crappy awards? I usually do those at the end of the year. So, Dual Purpose says Days Gone was made by the B team and is going toe-to-toe with the A team on Microsoft. Yeah, Mike Scarborough says no contest between those games. Gears is a cut above. Speaking strictly graphics, maybe graphics-wise, and Days Gone did have some bugs and stuff to it. But to be clear, they did fix those relatively quickly. So, yeah, like it wasn't nearly as bad. Danny Ruiz says, I haven't played Gears 4. Should I play it before I play 5? You can, Danny, but they recap it at the beginning of Gears 5 anyway, all the narrative points, and you're not missing much if you don't. Yeah, so let's see. Eastsider 49er says, lost no time, ran into save issues that lost 4 minutes. Also, stats are taking time to load. Only issue so far, nothing that takes away from the game. On Act 3 now and only ranked 21 on multiplayer. Well, try losing 4 hours, man, and then get back to me with that 9.3 score, because I'm promising you that you're going to have a different score for it by the time that comes around. I'll Drain Your Soul says, is no one seeing the low textures in Gears 5? I saw some of those. Somebody was tweeting out some pictures. Wakey, I think his name is. So, yeah, I think that's, that's one of those things that I thought was going to happen, because you have to have that 60 frames, and so you've got some area. That's probably why there's not a photo mode, to be honest with you, because they didn't want people like zooming in with camera onto some of these areas because they don't look as good. So yeah. Sound says, crap, are you getting a PS5 day one? Yes, I will. Jackson Jacob says, my collectibles didn't all register. Mine didn't either, so don't feel bad. I feel like that's something that, Microsoft, they said that supposedly they're going to patch it and maybe they'll have some sort of fix for it. I don't know, but it is a little bit weird that we're kind of having these issues and things like that. So hopefully they can get them fixed sooner rather than later. I hope so anyway. I hope so, because, people spend time on these games and then they break or they don't register right and they have all these problems, and it makes gaming not fun, and I know it sounds a lot like I'm just complaining a lot. Maybe I am. But at the same time, I just feel like, somebody has to. I sure as heck didn't see anybody telling the truth on their reviews about this stuff. Whether or not all this stuff was happening the way it is right now, I don't know. But what I do know is that there was a lot of this stuff kind of happening sort of long term from when I first started playing it, and I started playing it last week. So, yeah, like for me, this has been kind of a problem for a little while now, and hopefully Microsoft can get it straightened out before it totally kills off the franchise and ruins the game for so many people. Stratus Element says, thinking about getting an Xbox just for Gears 5, is it worth it? I don't know if any console game, if any game is worth it for just one. So yeah, I'm not really sure that it's that's worth it. I'm not going to say to spend your money for something. That's on you. That's on you. I'm not going to say, hey, everybody hit the like button. I would really appreciate it. Dog of War says, no SJW nonsense in Gears 5 campaign is another plus. I was expecting it to be shoved in there. Well, you know where the SJW stuff was? I don't know if you knew who runs the campaign, the like the videos and stuff, like the marketing. Her name is Nikki something or other. She's like, Kate is woman, hear her roar, or whatever, you know what I mean? Like, the most SJW stuff was from, like, that side of things, like, yeah, and you sometimes question who some of these people are and put in charge of that stuff, but at the end of the day, I didn't feel like it was kind of shoved down your throat. It was kind of maybe natural, but, I do feel like they tried to make her to be sort of like a Captain Marvel-esque character, and, made her a little bit more badass than what she actually is. So, yeah, like for me personally, I wasn't incredibly, I thought it was a pretty good story, but it wasn't like amazing. Like I still longed for like that awesomeness that was the Brotherhood, Brothers to the End of the original Gears and stuff like that. Crap, do you think Borderlands 3 will beat Gears meta? It looks like they're right pretty much the same. So, Gears 5 is a fine game. It's just these delusional Xbox fans calling it the game of the gen. Yeah. Captain Crunch says Kate was grating for much of her dialogue. It was pretty bad. Well, I didn't think that the characters aren't. They're boring. So yeah, like I thought that the characters are kind of boring to begin with. So yeah, there is that, and I wasn't really a fan of that particular aspect, like the back and forth between them. I just think the characters just were not fun. They're boring. It's not just her. It was all of them. Dell, JD. They were all like my favorite parts were Marcus. You know what I mean? His parts or whatever. And for the rest of it, I just the tank controls are kind of old hat now. Like for me personally, and I reviewed it. So if you haven't checked out the review, please do. But for me personally, the problems that I had, obviously everybody's like, there's RPG elements. The RPG elements in this game are only the upgrades to Jack the robot. That's it. There's no photo mode. You have numerous bugs and glitches like the save stuff, the lack of progression stuff, where it loses your XP, where it resets your rank. There's a lot of stuff going wrong here. Not only that, but some of the glitches and stuff, like with the walls and going through the floor and the camera glitches, they're pretty bad and significant as well. So it's not like the stuff is invented or anything like that. This is a big AAA game. Microsoft really should have made sure that everything was up to snuff and running and how it should be. And it is a shame that they weren't able to do that. But hopefully, this is a sign of maybe things changing and changing for the better for the Xbox studios, because we need that. And I feel like this is something that Microsoft has to do if they want people to take Xbox seriously going forward. You have to have your games, up to snuff. They've got to be ready to go. They can't be this broken. Okay, so yeah, that's just what I'm gonna kind of leave that at. And you can't have that. If you're Microsoft, you can't have it like completely broken the way it is. Hold on. I saw some more. I'm going to answer some more questions. As you guys hit the like button, maybe get me up to 125. I would appreciate it. Let's see. Hey, Crap, what do you think of the new Resident Evil multiplayer games? I haven't seen that yet. I haven't seen that. So maybe how you review a game you didn't beat. Oh, I explained that in my review, right? So after I couldn't progress from a certain point, and I logged multiple hours trying to redo it. I went to YouTube and watched I played every game mode, and I got to a certain point in the campaign when I couldn't progress it, and it got to the frustrating part where I had to replay it multiple times and it still wouldn't work. I went to YouTube and just watched the rest of the game unfold, and that's how I did it. So some people might not like that, but I wanted to see the twist ending or what have you. And so I got to see it, and I got to play every game mode, and I got to, I did everything that everybody else would do, except for I wasn't able to actually complete my copy of the game. So, let's see. PlayStation comes out with hit after hit. What do Xbox have besides Halo that's going to be good? Probably, maybe Fable. I'm hoping that maybe that's something that they have is good. Crapgamer, the reason my review score is lower for Xbox games is because journalists need a job. You can work that out soon. No, there's no media bias, man. There's no media bias. Don't even think about that. That's such nonsense. There's no media bias right now. Crap, you're on the level of being silly petty. The game isn't even out yet. What are you talking about? The game is silly or petty? The game has been out for 5 days. How is that silly or petty? People paid $100 to play the game early. Shouldn't the game work? That's not silly or petty, right? Yo, Crap, what kind of effort do you think Sony will make with their first-party multiplayer games? I think they're not going to do a ton of multiplayer games, to be honest with you. I think that they're going to do, a few, like that Predator game. We might see another Killzone or something along those lines. I wouldn't expect, you're going to see multiplayer at The Last of Us 2. Maybe if there's another Uncharted, we'll see something, but we're not going to be anything like that. Hold on. Porta Player says Battletoads is going to be good. You're going to eat your words. Did they suddenly make Battletoads faster and have good hit detection and change the art direction so it doesn't look like a Sunday morning cartoon? Because if they did all those things, I would agree with you. So, Mario Heat says people paid $1 or $2, not $100. That's not true. Traditional people don't really know much about Game Pass. So, people buy the Ultimate Editions of games to play them early. I know even Noof Nukem bought his to play it early. So, people that want to buy physical copies of the game will buy it early to play early. So, you're dismissing them or saying they don't matter because the game is broken and they paid for the ability to play early, but it shouldn't matter because it's not the quote-unquote official release. Games do that nowadays where they release early if you pay the price. Should those games be allowed to be broken? We're paying a premium price. Like, do you guys listen to yourselves, the ones that say this stuff? Should we be paying a premium for that? For the ability to play broken games early? Come on. Come on. Sully says, I'm thinking that Predator game will bomb or just do all right, hoping for a SOCOM. Hey, we could see a SOCOM game. Well, me and Mooch were supposed to live stream, but he had problems. I had problems with the game. It just ended up not working out. It just ended up really not working out. Jackson Jacob says, I'm so tired of Xbox exclusives looking like Sunday morning cartoons. I'm with you right there. I'm hoping for the best later on in the future, but as it is, that's kind of the way things go with Microsoft games. So SOCOM on the PSP was great according to him. Hey, can we get up to 125 likes? I would appreciate it. TJ Guyver says, is Gears 5 really that broken? For some people like Sully and myself, it was really broken. For others, they were able to get through it with minimal glitches and bugs, but still problematic. Zay Gaming and Edit says, obviously it's not going to be the best at the start. Now, not that I'm defending the bugs in this game, but just be patient. It's a hot mess right now because it came out and everybody's getting at it at once. Well, listen, Zay, I get the server aspects of that, but why are there so many game-breaking bugs as far as progressing your game or getting jacked to the right spot to progress your game or being able, you know what I'm saying? Like, be patient. Man, if you were one of the people that paid $100 to play this early, you basically didn't get to play early at all with all these problems. So, yeah. Jay Henny says, I honestly don't think Crap played Gears yet. No, I played it, and I actually got footage up on my review as well. So, yeah, there's that. Also shared quite a few screenshots on Twitter if you want to check them out. So, yeah, feel free to go ahead and check those out if you want. I'll Drain Your Souls says, do you think they've made Gears be colorful? Too colorful. I prefer the duller grayish look. I think they were getting a lot of crap for having the browns and stuff like that. So, yeah, I think that they made it. I like the color palette that they're using now. But, yeah, I don't know that, I'm just not sure that it's anything spectacular, in my opinion. It's obvious the Coalition spent more time optimizing the PC version over the Xbox. I haven't had the game crash on me, not had any issues with progression. I've heard the PC version has problems, too. It matters crap. It was sarcasm. It's the standard Xbox has set, though, by making Game Pass a priority. It could be. Yeah. Well, didn't I say that the game was going to be between 6 and 8 hours? Like all those Gears games are. They can try to flesh them out as much as they want. But at the end of the day, it was always just going to be that. Axeman says, I had jack issues. Glad to hear I wasn't the only one. No, it wasn't. Mooch had them as well, and I did too. Some people were like, well, if you would have played co-op with 3 people and somebody was jack, or 2 people and somebody was jack, then maybe that person could have controlled jack over to where you need him. But it's like hindsight's 2020, What do you guys consider the best-looking console game this gen? Gears of War or God of War? It really depends. I think in a lot of aspects, God of War is better, and I think in some aspects, Gears of War is better. I think it really just comes down to, it really just comes down to preference. Like, I think that some areas are very low res or very, like, kind of old school, just because they have to have the 60 frames. Like, if they would have did 30 frames, it could have looked really, really good. But they did what they did. Let's see. I'm going to answer a couple more questions before I get the heck out of here. Did I own a Dreamcast? Yes, I have my Dreamcast right here sitting right next to me. I love the Dreamcast. I got a bunch of games for it. One of my favorite consoles of all time. I remember playing dial-up games on it as well. Did I? Let's see. Mike Scarborough says I did have a few times where I thought I knew where to go, but the prompt X button wasn't in the right spot. I wandered around until it appears. I guess it's a loading problem. Could be, but you know, it's a bit of a problem. Damasi says Gears 5 gameplay gets old. It doesn't have the staying power that thank God for Borderlands 3. Yeah, I mean it could be. Yeah, the low res textures there. Some people are posting them on Twitter. Sean, you have to realize that for a game that runs at 60 frames, the way that it does, that some of the textures and stuff running in the background are gonna actually be like lower res textures than some of the other ones as well. Crap, a game you can't play is a bad game. I can play it, dude. What are you talking about, dude? I've played Gears of War. I put thousands of hours into the entire series. But I would say that the fact that I can't play this particular campaign is a bit of a reason why it's a bad game for sure. Let's see. Captain Crunch says agree. Gears movement and gameplay needs a massive change. Yeah, I agree 100%. Hey, everybody hit the like button. I got stuff I got to do, places I got to go. So with that being said, make sure you guys like, share, all that kind of stuff. Maybe consider contributing to the channel. I appreciate you guys coming out. Enjoy the game. Hopefully it gets fixed. Hopefully they can get things working sooner rather than later. But I had a good time. Enjoy it. You know, if you are just getting into it, hopefully they patch it and get things up to snuff. Peace out. I will catch you guys later. Rack 'em up.